right, then you get your toy. Well, mom and dad on one side, right here. All right, you guys rehearse this, I'm sure. Lucas, you're not in the middle.
Take your badge.
All right, close the orders.
Attention orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Matthew Thomas Hofmann. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore promoted in the United States Army to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, effective 1 January 2018, by order of the Secretary of the Army, Dr. Mark T. Esper. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Gill will now re-administer the oath of office to Lieutenant Colonel Hofmann.
I, Matthew Thomas Hofmann, having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States,
in the Army of the United States,
in the grade of Lieutenant Colonel,
in the grade of Lieutenant Colonel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Lieutenant Colonel Matt Hofmann.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here. The Honorable Mr. Wilkie, Mr. Curtin, Ms. Barna, Mr. Hebert, Mom, Dad, Jen, Jeff, Rebecca, and Jeremy, nieces and nephews, thank you to and everyone else here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join me today on this special occasion. I know that I'm the only thing standing between many of you in a 4-day weekend, so I will try to keep this brief. First of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Corey, and our son, Lucas, for loving me and supporting me. You challenge me every day to be better, and I appreciate you and love you for it. And Lucas, you're 5 years old and living in your 4th state. You always seem to just roll with the punches, and you're the best thing that happened to your mom and I. So we love you.
They're a lot heavier than me.
Mom and Dad, 24 years and 4 months ago, Staff Sergeant Diva came and picked me up to take me to basic training. I never thought that I would be here today, being promoted to Lieutenant Colonel, let alone in the Army. And I'm pretty sure you never saw this coming either. More so than anyone else in the world, the two of you made me who I am. And I may not have liked it growing up, but it worked, and better late than never, right? So, Mom. I'm not up here, as many of you know, as Lieutenant Colonel because only of what I've done. I'm up here as a lieutenant colonel primarily because of what others have done for me. And the Army is just populated with thousands of great patriotic Americans. And I've been blessed to have worked with and have worked for me, hundreds, if not thousands of them. And the best way that I can repay them is to carry it forward, try and pay it forward. Phenomenal non-commissioned officers like Sergeant Majors Charles Nykirk, Mark Mancini, Diana Smith, Brad Cross, Scott Painter, Mike Odell, Master Sergeants Dave Cookingham, Max Phelps, Joe Anderson, Chris Fessy, Dean McDaniels, Robert Squires, and my two NCOs that took care of me on my last deployment, Sergeant First Class Donald Martellotti and Mike Murphy. And that's just a snapshot of the hundreds, if not thousands of people that have just meant the world to me, that have worked for me in the past. And I wouldn't be up here today without them. I've also had the honor and the privilege of working with and for some phenomenal officers that have made their mark on me. Colonels Bill Black, Dave Chase, Bob Willis, John Garrity, Lieutenant Colonel Hanrahan, Andy Rogers, Norm Pollock, Jeremy Willingham, Mark Danner, and Majors Mike Thurman, and sir, by the way, you probably need to tell him that he got a shout out. Jeremy Prince, Lily Woodington, Lee Monzon, and Captain Joe Smith on my last deployment. He's another guy that took care of me. And Mike Capso there, I'm sorry. But I want to give a special thanks to Colonel Gibb. As he said, he's my former brigade commander, and he kind of rehashed our history. And whatever I did in 2004 when we met, because he was my relief, I just wanted to do whatever he wanted so I could leave. He remembered it 10 years later when he selected me to be his brigade operations officer for the duration, or for the majority of his command. And he did it knowing, that my wife was about ready to deploy, and we had a very, as you can see, precocious and active 2.5-year-old at the time. But sir, you never let me fail at the most important mission that I had, which was that little guy right there. Between you and Kathy, just reaching out and taking care of me, making sure we're okay. It's leaders like you that are in the Army, that make the Army one of the most special places in the world. And I'm proud to have served with you and for you, sir. To my MPP family, 6 months ago, you guys didn't know me. But you welcomed me and you made me part of the family, and I appreciate it. And just recently, I moved up into the P&R world, into the front office. So Mr. Wilkie, Mr. Curtis, Penrod, Colonel Gainey, Captain Jarrett, thanks for making the transition smooth, and I look forward to our time together. And I think I've rambled enough because I based my speech on the amount of fidgeting Lucas is doing, and we're at critical mass. So thank you very much for being here today.
Remain standing for the playing of the Army song. The Army song.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. When the army goes rolling along, proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cage, loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
This concludes today's ceremony. Please come forward to offer your congratulations to Lieutenant Colonel Hofmann and his family, and then join us for the reception in the back of the room. Once again, thank you all for coming.
Out of the alarm, they look alike. I thought I was seeing a twin back here.
Yes, get that.